A U.S. carrier group is moving closer to the Middle East, and the world is waiting to see if America will strike Iran. CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell reports the number killed in the regime's bloody crackdown is now staggering.
Iran is a nation under martial law.
Curfew, checkpoints, and heavy security presence in city after city. People inside the country describes streets saturated with armed forces and plainclothes units, not to keep order, but to flood public space with fear and crush any momentum for freedom. And brutality is no longer limited to bullets and batons.
With the internet down for more than 400 hours, the number of Iranians reportedly killed by the regime is being called a genocide under digital darkness. It's one of the world's deadliest massacres in a generation.
They estimated true toll may be exceed of 60,000. This is not a crowd control with mass killing, disappearing, chemical attacks, and blackout to hide the evidence. This is a nationwide uprising met with state terror, and it fits the pattern of crime against humanity.
The International Center for Human Rights adds that more than 350,000 have been injured and more than 10,000 blinded. Iranians are looking to President Trump for help, and that help could come soon as the U.S.'s Abraham Lincoln nears the region. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper has met with IDF Chief of Staff Eyal Zamir, and the U.S. has moved a massive amount of military assets into the region, giving President Trump a wide range of military options. In Iran, the regime has posted a large mural in a Tehran public square, warning of the consequences of a U.S. attack. It says, "If you sow the wind, you will reap the whirlwind." Reports also indicate Ayatollah Khamenei is now in an underground bunker for fear of assassination. And Houthi rebels in Yemen, a proxy of Iran, are threatening to attack shipping in the Middle East. In Israel, a number of major airlines have canceled flights in and out of the country over concern that Iran will fire its ballistic missiles in retaliation for U.S. attacks. Iran fired hundreds of missiles at Israel in June of 2025 during the 12-day war with Iran.
Well, Chris Mitchell joins us now from Jerusalem. It looks like Iran is concerned. The Ayatollah is in a bunker right now. I guess they're thinking the U.S. is going to strike. What is the sense in Israel?
Well, Gordon, they're prepared for any scenario right now, on high alert. The IDF spokesman has been saying repeatedly they're ready offensively and defensively, knowing that Iran could fire ballistic missiles like they did back last year in June. Here they have layers of anti-missile systems, the Iron Dome, David Sling, the Arrow, the hospitals are ready. And yet because of all that, or in spite of all that, there's really a sense of calm, I would say, Gordon. The tourism ministry does say that it has put together a plan to evacuate more than 40,000 tourists now in Israel. And if the country is forced to shut down because of a fresh conflict with Iran. People have been through this 3 times, not only last year in June, but also in 2024. People are ready. I think the good news right here, Gordon, which has just come out in the last few minutes, is that the last hostage, his name is Ron Gavili, has been found, which means that all 251 hostages taken on October 7th are now home.
Well, that's good news. Let's turn back to Iran. Are the reports accurate? Are we looking at 60,000 dead, 350,000 injured? Is that accurate?
It seems to be accurate. In fact, I've heard numbers as much as 80,000, Gordon. And it seems like the stories that are coming out are just horrific. The use of gas. People are choking, burning, and then collapsing. They're weaponizing pharmaceuticals, high doses of potassium to those people leaving a hospital, which causes death in a day or two. Many people being taken to secret locations, summary executions, no trial, no due process. And many of these are young. You saw that in our report, and their future of the country. And that's why many people are saying so important to be praying for the people of Iran and also for President Trump, for wisdom for what he needs to do.
Well, he's warned, President Trump has warned of a military attack if the Iranian leadership starts to execute their own citizens, and it seems like the attack has been paused. Is that just to wait for the carrier group to get into the Gulf, or are there other reasons?
There seems to be one of the major reasons is the USS Abraham Lincoln to be there right now. It's apparently off the coast of Oman, but it's well within range of Iran. Some people are saying it could be caution, not necessarily retreat, trying to figure out who's going to follow the regime if it falls. Would it be Reza Pahlavi, the exiled crown prince? Now, inside Iran's, we hear reports that he's the overwhelming choice of people. He said this is the last battle, and they're calling for him to return. He has a detailed plan for the transfer of power, but that could be one of the reasons why there's, kind of mixed messages coming out of the White House. First, help is on the way, and then an extended pause. Everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen next.
Is there any concern that Saudi Arabia seems to be decidedly against Israel right now? There was hope that they would join the Abraham Accords, but recently it seems they've turned into the orbit of Qatar and Turkey, and the official publications of the government are now decidedly anti-Israel. Is that one of the reasons?
It could be, some of the going ahead, the lobbying going on inside the White House or behind the scenes could be from Saudi Arabia as well, not wanting a strike and allying, as you said, with Qatar and Turkey. I read a report just a few days ago, Gordon, that said really normalization may be off the table between Israel and Saudi Arabia because of the market shift they've had in the last few months. So all that could be part of one of the factors going on behind the scenes to the pause in any military strike just yet.
Militarily, what should we expect Iran to do in response? Are they going to attack Israel? Are they going to attack U.S. military bases? Are they going to get their proxies? What should we be on the lookout for?
Well, it could be all of the above. Iran is saying they're more ready than ever, their fingers on the trigger, ready for any worst-case scenario. Certainly, Israel is preparing for ballistic missiles in this direction, and then U.S. assets, could be targets, whether the ships or U.S. bases. They could use their ballistic missiles, drones, UAVs. They could use the proxies like the Houthis or Hezbollah. That's what they're warning about, and they're standing with Iran. But you have the mix of all this above. But you do know, Gordon, that the capabilities of Iran are much less now than they were with before the war last June with Israel and the U.S. Much of their air defenses have been degraded, not what they were, but it remains to be seen. They still do pose a threat here to Israel, the U.S., and the Middle East.
Well, we'll see. It's definitely a time to be praying for Iran. Chris Mitchell, thanks for your insight. Thanks for joining with us. I want to reference that billboard that was in Tehran. If you sow the wind, you'll reap the whirlwind. If there's any government on the planet that has sown the wind, it's the Iranian government. They have sponsored terrorism throughout the Middle East and throughout the world. And if the international order doesn't recognize that they are the principal state sponsor of terrorism, then the international order is broken. The same cause that, the kidnapping of Maduro. Here's a dictator who ignored elections, who massacred his own people, imprisoned everyone on the opposition, all in the pursuit of some kind of socialistic ideal. It's led to a collapse of their economy, the starvation of the people of Venezuela. And when the U.S. acts to remove him, suddenly there's this call that somehow or other the international order has been violated. Well, then the international order is broken. If you can't rein in a dictator who harms his own people, the same analysis applies to Iran. They have been brutal. And the number of uprisings, there have been 5 revolutions in the past decade. Each one has been met with violence from the government. Snipers being put on rooftops, targeting protesters and shooting them dead in the streets. The amount of violence that we're hearing coming out of Iran today is staggering. You think 60,000 people? That is enormous. 80,000 people, 350,000 injured, and summary executions. They've lost the right to rule. And where is the international order? Where are the protests for this? Where the campuses should be in absolute stunning protest over what is currently happening in Iran. But we're not hearing it from the left, and I don't understand that. But from righteousness' sake, they have lost the right to go.